Alaska, a land of extremes where the sun barely sets in summer and barely rises in winter. Here, nature reigns supreme, and the landscape stretches on, wild and unbroken as far as the eye can see. The name alone conjures images of untamed wilderness, towering glaciers that glisten under the midnight sun, endless forests shrouded in mist, and secrets buried deep beneath ancient ice. Alaska is a place where the land itself seems to breathe, holding stories as old as time, waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to listen. For centuries, this vast expanse has swallowed explorers whole, leaving only whispers and legends behind. Tales of strange dancing lights in the sky, auroras that seem to move with a mind of their own, and planes that vanish without a trace, have haunted the imaginations of all who venture here. The wilderness is both a sanctuary and a labyrinth, its mysteries as deep as its forests. The Alaska Triangle, a region infamous for its chilling statistics, has a missing persons rate that is double the national average. Pilots, hikers, and entire aircraft have disappeared into thin air, leaving behind only questions and heartache. Search and rescue teams comb the vast wilderness, but often the answers remain elusive, lost to the silence of the wild. Adding to the enigma, military bases and covert operations dot the landscape, fueling speculation and suspicion. Was that mysterious light streaking across the night sky a visitor from another world, or merely the product of a secret government project? In Alaska, the line between reality and legend blurs, and every unexplained event adds another layer to the mystery. Against this backdrop of breathtaking beauty and ever-present mystery, our story begins, not in the remote wilds, but at Alaska's busiest hub. Here, at the Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport, the heart of modern civilization pulses with life. Yet, for one unforgettable night, the unknown crept in, invading the very center of order and routine, and leaving a mark that would not soon be forgotten. The whispers of the last frontier, long confined to the forests and mountains, were about to become a deafening roar, echoing through the corridors of the airport and into the hearts of all who witnessed what happened next. Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport, ANC, is a global crossroads, a 24/7 ballet of jets and cargo. Controllers here are the best, used to chaos and wild weather. But on this night, everything felt routine, until it didn't. Past midnight, a flicker on a radar screen broke the calm, an anomaly, out of place, unexplained. In the sterile control tower, this was a discordant note in a perfect symphony. The ordinary rhythm shattered, the wild heart of Alaska was about to intrude, the mystery had begun. Deep in the Tracon facility as the night shift settled in, a controller's eyes caught something strange. A blip on the radar. There was no transponder code, no flight plan filed, just a raw, unfiltered echo pulsing on the screen. It was the kind of anomaly that made even seasoned professionals sit up straighter, their instincts telling them this was no ordinary glitch. The room, usually filled with quiet confidence, suddenly felt tense, as if everyone sensed the presence of something unknown. The blip darted across the screen, moving in ways that defied logic. Sharp turns, sudden stops, and then without warning it would vanish entirely. Moments later it would reappear miles away, as if it had skipped through space. The controllers watched, transfixed, as the object seemed to play a game of hide and seek, its movements impossible for any known aircraft or weather phenomenon. Theories flew around the room. Maybe it was a flock of birds or a weather balloon caught in a gust. But the radar signature was too strong, too consistent, and the maneuvers too precise. One by one, the usual explanations were dismissed. This was something else, something that didn't fit any pattern they'd seen before. When military radar joined the search, the mystery deepened. Not only did they confirm the presence of the object, but they detected a cluster, multiple targets, all moving with uncanny coordination. These weren't random echoes, they weaved through established flight paths, almost as if they were observing, studying the patterns of human flight from above. The controllers, powerless to intervene, could only watch as the unknown objects paced commercial jets, matching their speed and altitude with unnerving precision. The tension in the control room was palpable. Every eye glued to the screens, every breath held, waiting for the next move. Then, just as suddenly as they had appeared, the blips vanished, leaving only questions behind. Later, as the adrenaline faded, one controller whispered to a colleague, "It was like it knew we were watching." The words hung in the air, echoing the unease that had settled over the team. It was a feeling that would linger long after the screens went dark. For the first time, the sense of control that defined their work was gone. The professionals who guided hundreds of flights each night now felt small, humbled by the unknown. That night it seemed the sky no longer belonged to them. It belonged to something else, something watching, waiting, just beyond the reach of their radar. The anomaly, once a distant curiosity, suddenly became a dire threat as a Boeing 747, on final approach to Anchorage, reported a cascade of instrument failures and strange, persistent interference. The pilots, seasoned veterans, found themselves surrounded by blinking warning lights and erratic readings, their confidence shaken as the familiar systems they relied on began to betray them. Outside, the jets soared through the darkness above the mountains, but something unseen was keeping pace. The object, whatever it was, remained invisible to the aircraft's collision avoidance system, yet its presence was undeniable, wreaking havoc on the jet's controls and navigation. "Mayday! Mayday! Mayday!" crackled the urgent voice of the captain over the radio, as he and his co-pilot fought to regain control of the massive aircraft. With the runway in sight but the plane unresponsive, they made the split-second decision to abort the landing, climbing away from the airport and into the unknown. In the chaos, other planes in the area began to report similar disturbances, GPS signals dropping out, compasses spinning wildly, and radios filled with bursts of static and garbled voices. The airspace over Anchorage was descending into confusion. It was as if an invisible force, powerful and deliberate, was crippling the very fabric of the skies. Pilots and controllers alike felt the weight of something unnatural pressing in from the darkness. In the control tower, air traffic controllers juggled a growing list of emergencies, their screens flickering with alerts. Despite their training and technology, they were powerless to help, forced to watch as the situation spiraled out of control. Only the skill and calm determination of the pilots kept disaster at bay as they worked together to stabilize their aircraft and keep their passengers safe amidst the chaos. But the message was clear. This was no ordinary malfunction, no simple glitch in the system. Something far more mysterious and menacing was at work. As the night deepened, it became undeniable. Something was actively, aggressively interfering with Anchorage's skies, and no one knew what it would do next. The Mayday was the breaking point. The FAA ordered a full ground stop, unprecedented for Anchorage. Military scrambled F-22s. Black SUVs arrived, the airport went into lockdown. Employees were silenced, phones confiscated, and the official story became technical difficulties. The real events, unknown objects, pilot distress, fighter jets, were buried under secrecy. The public heard of a computer glitch. Those present knew the truth was far stranger. For a few hours, the sky was not ours. In the aftermath, silence reigned, but anonymous voices told a different story. Controllers described helplessness. "We never trained for this." Maintenance crews found nothing wrong with the Mayday 747, despite logs of massive electrical anomalies. Employees signed strict NDAs, threatened with severe penalties for speaking out. "You don't imagine multiple Maydays or fighter jets scrambling," one said. The evidence pointed to a cover-up, not a glitch. Fear lingered, not just of what happened, but of what might happen if the truth got out. The mystery deepened. With no answers, theories flourished. Some claimed extraterrestrials, impossible maneuvers, Alaska's UFO history. Others blamed secret military tech, hypersonic drones, electronic warfare gone awry. A third theory, foreign surveillance, advanced drones probing US defenses. Each theory had holes. Why test over a busy airport? Why just observe? Why vanish? With no evidence released, speculation was all that remained. The truth, whatever it was more unsettling than any theory. The story faded, but for those there the silence was chilling. Key witnesses were quietly reassigned, records sealed, audio classified. The official line, technical difficulties, barely concealed the reality. What really happened? Alien encounter, secret tech, foreign probe? The truth is locked away. The questions linger. A reminder that even now the unknown rules Alaska's skies. The last frontier keeps its secrets. And the silence from above is the loudest warning of all.